I mainly lay premium on the suffering of Sonny. Tracing back to the 30s, when the discrimination was still pervasive, we can find it inevitable for African Americans to suffer. The housing project, which served as a segregation policy at that time, turned out to be the most atrocious predicament for the Black Americans. The policy became a confinement, both physically and socially. In the residential area allotted for the African Americans, say Harlem in New York City, they were left with slim opportunities to get decent life. What's worse, they couldn't help but to fall down, for example, taking heroin, in order to temporarily be extricated from their misery. And this is same for Sonny, who is facing the destiny of being haunted by the burden of being poor and Black. Sonny is aware of the obstacles since the young age. By moving away from Harlem and starting a career as a musician, he struggles to define his fate, instead of just settling for his situation and complying with the social order which was without real justice, passion, and value. Sonny's one saving grace is his music, through which he can express all of his deep-seated frustration and desire. Sonny's music redeems his soul, but meanwhile it also threatens to destroy him. To create music, or we can say to offer redemptions, Sonny has to bear the suffering of his life and all of the lives around him. And here, I use the fire match and the burnt matches to demonstrate my interpretation. The path for Sonny to becoming a musician is full of suffering. It certainly takes endeavor and perseverance. The burnt matches that pile up like a hill is presented as Sonny's adversities, distress experiences, or just Sonny himself. Like those burnt matches, Sonny has also burned out himself 1,000 times. He has been exhausted, he has been suffering, but he never stopped trying in a new form and with a new mindset. By no means does Sonny's burnout come to nothing. Every time he suffers, his suffering indeed elevates him to a higher level. And the match on fire of the pile is also Sonny. This is Sonny so splendid and shiny, who gives warmth and relief. Also, the brightness is not from the outside world, but from Sonny himself. He is actually burning himself to give up brightness, to provide a gleam of light as a relief or direction for those in suffering like him. Sonny, who is resembling Jesus Christ, who sacrificed himself to give people redemption and salvation. Sonny's music is also the remedy and redemption. Also, the knot above the match fire represents the misunderstanding and problem between Sonny and his brother. At the end of Sonny's blues, the narrator finally sees Sonny shining as a musician. Through Sonny's play, the knot has disappeared, which I use the fire to burn out the knot as the disappearance of their fight. Sonny's brother has respect and being proud of Sonny henceforward.